Hi, welcome to another video from Easy with Code. Till now we have used the label and a button and we have modified the text property of the label. But what if we want to take some input from the user? In that case we need to use the text feed. So I'll go to the object library and I'll search for text, which gives me two options, which is text field and text view. Text field is for taking inputs, while text view is to display a multi-line text. So this we'll see later. For now we have to use text field. So I'll drag drop this onto my UI. I'll also get rid of some of the labels which I don't need, and I will drag it on the top, and this label I'll drag it below, so it will be below the button. So I have the label, so I'll stretch it. I have the button, so I have the text field, I have the button, and I have the label, which I'll drag and snap to the guides in order to lay them out perfectly. Okay, so what my objective here is to get a name here, and when someone clicks this button, the button will say hi, so it will say hi and that name. So for this I'll make this text initially as blank. I'll save this by hitting file and save. You can alternatively hit command S. Then I'll go to view controller.swift file. I'll single click it. I'll remove these two declarations which don't exist anymore. I'll remove them from viewDidLoad method as well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a connection from the text field to our view controller.swift file. So for that I'll jump to my assistant editor. I will hide the left and right pane, and I'll quickly navigate to my main.storyboard file here on the left and view controller file on the right. I'll right click the text field and I'll drag it below the IB outlet of my label, and this also needs to be outlet because there is no action involved with it. So we have to just use this outlet. I'll name this as my text field and I'll hit connect. Once I get this my text field, I'll go to the tab button. So before changing the text property of my label, I'll grab the input that was given by the user. So I'll create a variable called name and I'll store the name in this variable. So I'll write my text field dot text. Once I enter this, I get a warning which says the initialization variable was never used. So it says that the variable is initialized but it is not used. So we'll use it right here. So we'll remove this and we can directly write name and we'll see how warning goes. Now we have another warning which says that it is never changed, so you can make it as let. So that's a better suggestion. We use let to define constants and var to define a variable. As the name doesn't change, we can simply use it as a let. in this case. Now I can directly use name here, but then in that case it will say just the name and it won't say hi. So if you want to say hi and then space with a name, we need to have something like this. We need to write hi and then a backslash and then a parentheses, and then we need to cut this and paste it inside of the parentheses. So I'll save this change and I'll go to my standard editor. I'll show the left and right pane and I'll run this app. So now once the app runs, I'll write here my name and I'll click hi and it says hi optional Sumit. So the reason why it says optional is I've missed the exclamation mark here. So once I put that and save, so I'm saying to Xcode that this may be null, but I know it will not be null. As I did not put exclamation mark in the beginning, I had to unwrap the name before using it. But now because I have put exclamation mark, I can directly use the app without unwrapping it. So I'll hit run button and I'll wait for my simulator to load the app. So once my app runs, I'll write my name here as Sumit and I'll click say hi and it says hi Sumit, which is well and good. So this app runs perfectly, but there are several things to note. One thing is, if we go to hardware and if we toggle the keyboard using this toggle software keyboard, or you can also alternatively press Command K, we'll see this keyboard comes up. So now if I write, even if I click away or if I click this button, this keyboard doesn't go. So if I write, if I change my name to Ram and if I click say hi, this keyboard never goes. This is because in this case the text field is the first responder to this keyboard event. So what we have to do is we have to tell the iOS application that once it is done taking the input, it is no longer the first responder. So what is first responder? So the first responder is something which responds first to the event, and most of the time it is always associated with the keyboard inputs. So if you want this keyboard to go away, once we click the say hi button, what we have to do is we have to tell the iOS application that my text field is no longer the first responder. So what we have to do is we have to resign first responder. So once we do this and we run the app and we open our simulator, so it may happen a couple of times that my application may fail. I'll relaunch it again. And I write here my name and I click say hi. So now we see the keyboard is gone, which says that the text field is no longer the first responder for this input, and hence the keyboard goes away. However, in this approach, if I open the iOS app and if I open the keyboard and I click somewhere else, the keyboard doesn't go away. So if I want my keyboard to go away, if I click somewhere else, then I need to write some other code, which is touches began, and I can write my code here as view dot, so it gets an object called view, in which you can write view dot end editing, and we can pass true here. So if we stop this app and run it again and open my simulator, so once I click here, my keyboard shows up. Once I click somewhere else, my keyboard goes away. If I click again, my keyboard shows up and I can write my name. So if you want to explicitly make my text field as a first responder, we can write my text field dot become first responder. So that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to, that's right,